3 months ago, I discovered something about my boyfriend that completely destroyed my trust. He had secretly sabotaged my birth control. But the worst part? He believed getting me pregnant would fix our relationship. And he had absolutely no idea what that decision would do to both of our lives. Or how badly it could have ended. Jake and I had been together for almost 2 years. We met through mutual friends at a small birthday party. He was funny, charming, and the kind of guy who made everyone in the room feel like they mattered. At first, everything about him felt easy. He made me laugh constantly. He remembered small details about my life. He would bring me coffee in the morning and text me random memes during work. 6 months into dating, we moved into a small apartment together. It wasn't fancy. The kitchen cabinets didn't close properly. The bathroom light flickered sometimes. And the air conditioner made a loud rattling noise every night. But it felt like home. Every morning the apartment smelled like coffee. Every night it smelled like takeout. We had movie nights on the couch, late-night conversations about our future, and lazy Sundays where we stayed in pajamas all day. For a long time, I thought we were building a life together. But there was one topic where we were never fully on the same page. Kids. Jake loved kids. Every time we passed a family at the park, he would smile. Someday, he'd say. Someday that'll be us. I would smile politely. But the truth was complicated. I didn't hate kids. Not at all. I just couldn't have them. At least, that's what my doctors had told me. When I was 21, I was diagnosed with a heart condition that made pregnancy extremely dangerous. The doctors were very clear. If I ever became pregnant, it could put my life at serious risk. They told me that if I wanted children someday, I should consider adoption. And I had accepted that. It wasn't easy at first. But over time, I made peace with it. When Jake and I started dating, I told him early in the relationship. I didn't want any secrets. I remember the exact conversation. We were sitting on a bench at a park, eating ice cream. I said quietly, "There's something important you should know." He listened carefully. When I explained the medical condition, he looked concerned. But then he shrugged. "That's okay," he said. "There are other ways to have a family." At the time, I believed him. Maybe that was my mistake. Because despite those conversations, Jake still talked about kids constantly. He would show me videos of babies laughing. He would send me photos of his niece and nephew. Sometimes he would say things like, "You'd be such an amazing mom." I would usually change the subject. Not because I didn't care, but because I didn't want to keep repeating the same painful explanation. Still, we were careful. Very careful. Birth control pills. Condoms. No risks. Or at least, that's what I believed. One morning, everything started to change. I woke up feeling strange. Not sick exactly. Just off. I walked into the kitchen to make coffee when suddenly a wave of nausea hit me. Hard. I grabbed the kitchen counter to steady myself. The room felt like it tilted slightly. Jake was sitting on the couch scrolling through his phone. He looked up. "You okay, babe?" "I think so," I said slowly. "I just feel weird." He frowned slightly. "Maybe there's a bug going around." "Maybe." "Go lie down," he said. "You look pale." "I'll bring you some water before I leave for work." I nodded. At the time, it seemed like a normal, caring moment. He kissed my forehead before leaving. But now, when I replay that memory, it feels completely different. Because now I know something I didn't know then. Jake was already hiding a secret. A few hours later, I woke up feeling worse. My stomach churned. My head felt heavy. I wrapped myself in a blanket and tried to distract myself by watching TV. I started binge watching The Traitors. Reality TV felt like the only thing my brain could handle. For a few hours I forgot about the nausea. Then Jake came home from work. He dropped his keys on the counter. "Hey babe," he said. "How are you feeling?" "Still weird." Maybe we caught the same thing. He sat next to me on the couch and started watching the show with me. Everything felt normal again. For about 20 minutes. Then suddenly my stomach twisted violently. I jumped up and ran to the bathroom. I barely made it to the toilet before throwing up. Jake rushed in behind me. "Whoa. Are you okay?" He held my hair back while I leaned over the toilet. My entire body felt shaky. "I don't know what's wrong with me," I said. "Maybe the flu," he said. "Maybe." But deep down something felt wrong. Very wrong. The next morning, I scheduled a doctor's appointment. Jake had already left for work. I drove to the clinic alone. The waiting room smelled like disinfectant and coffee. I sat there scrolling on my phone, trying not to think about worst-case scenarios. Eventually the nurse called my name. The appointment felt routine at first. Basic questions. Symptoms. Blood tests. Then the doctor left the room. When she came back, her expression had changed. She sat down across from me. "We need to talk." My stomach tightened. "What is it?" She took a breath. "You're pregnant." For a moment, the words didn't make sense. It felt like my brain couldn't process them. "That's not possible," I said immediately. She looked at the chart. "Your test results are very clear." "No," I said again. "I'm on birth control." She paused. "Birth control can fail." "But we're careful," I said weakly. The room suddenly felt very quiet. Then the doctor said something that made my heart drop even further. "Because of your heart condition, this pregnancy could be extremely high risk." My hand started shaking. "High risk how?" She hesitated before answering. "There is a real possibility it could be life-threatening." I walked out of the clinic in a daze. I sat in my car staring at the steering wheel for almost 10 minutes. Nothing made sense. How could this happen? We were careful. So careful. I drove home slowly. My mind kept replaying the doctor's words. High risk. Life-threatening. Pregnant. None of it felt real. That evening Jake came home from work. He walked into the apartment casually. "Hey babe," he said. "What did the doctor say?" I looked straight at him. "I'm pregnant." The room went completely silent. Jake froze. "What?" "I'm pregnant." For a moment he just stood there staring at me. Then I heard him whisper something under his breath. Very quietly. "What did you say?" I asked. "Nothing." "No," I said. "I heard you." I leaned forward slightly. "Did you just say it worked?" Jake's face went pale instantly. The color drained from his cheeks. And for the first time since I had known him, he looked genuinely terrified. After a long silence, he confessed, "I may have microwaved your birth control pills." My heart dropped. "You what?" He started talking quickly. "But listen," he said. "Now we can finally have a baby." I stared at him in complete disbelief. "You tampered with my birth control?" He looked down. "I also poked holes in the condoms." My entire body went cold. I felt like I couldn't breathe. "You sabotaged everything?" Jake rubbed his face nervously. "I just wanted us to start a family." "I told you I couldn't get pregnant," I said quietly. Jake rolled his eyes. "You were exaggerating." The room went silent. "No," I said slowly. "I wasn't." I stood up. "You remember when I told you pregnancy could kill me?" Jake frowned. "Yeah, but." "There's no but. My doctors warned me years ago that my heart condition makes pregnancy extremely dangerous." Jake's expression changed. The confidence disappeared. "You're lying," he whispered. "I wish I was." The next few weeks were a nightmare. Doctor appointments, specialists, medical tests. Every doctor said the same thing. This pregnancy was extremely high risk. Meanwhile, Jake completely broke down. At first he kept insisting things would be okay. Then he started realizing the truth. What he had done wasn't romantic. It wasn't a gesture. It was manipulation. And something else too. Something serious. Because secretly sabotaging someone's birth control has a name. Reproductive coercion. In many places, it's considered a form of abuse. And sometimes even a crime. When Jake realized that, panic set in. He tried to apologize. He begged me to forgive him. But the damage was already done. Not just to our relationship, but to my health, my future, my safety. Eventually the situation reached a point where lawyers became involved. Jake looked completely different by then. The confident, charming guy I met 2 years ago was gone. In his place was someone desperate and terrified. The last time I saw him was in a courtroom. He looked at me with tears in his eyes. "I just wanted us to be a family." I stared back at him. "You tried to trap me into one." And in that moment, he finally understood something. Love is not forcing someone into the life you want. Love is not manipulation. Love is not control. And sometimes, one selfish decision can destroy everything. Forever.